guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all okay, happy, healthy, safe wherever you are in the world. So today's glute series is episode number 3, and it's all about nutrition and food. So it isn't technically what I eat in a day. I have so many of those on my channel, and I'll pop the link here. So you can watch it up here, and I'll pop the link below for you as well. I eat the same thing every single day. There'll be clips in the background as we go along, but I thought it was actually better for me just to kind of describe everything to you in the easiest and best way possible for you to understand, because I feel like there's so many mixed messages when it comes to nutrition and building the glutes and building muscle and fat loss and things like that, and the whole idea of body recomposition, of losing fat and building muscle, and is it possible? So I wanted to pop everything into one video for you, but just before this video starts, and I'm so excited, actually when this video goes live yesterday, the Build Your Glutes trainer that I have created will have just gone live on the My Coach School. It is insane. It is an 8-week progressive program focusing on the glutes. Obviously you have upper body in there as well. I mean, I put my heart and soul into it. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm so freaking excited for you guys to get your hands on it. It's on the My Coach School. You can add it to your own workout calendar. I give you cues and techniques for all the exercises as I talk through them with you. There's metrics, so you can record the weight you're lifting. You can stay accountable. You know exactly what you're doing week on week. It's 4 or 5 sessions per week. We have 3 lower body sessions because we are focusing on the glutes and hamstrings, glutes, and then a quad focus session with a little bit of glutes as well. Upper body is involved. I'm just going to pop a link for you because it's the most insane thing in the whole entire world. I also apologise if you can hear a weird squeaky noise. My camera kind of level thing, I've just had to stop and recheck because I can hear it, and it's like making like a squeaky mouse noise. Hopefully, I think it's because it's not focusing very well. Fingers crossed I'm in focus. First of all, I wanted to start this video by saying, do not be scared to eat more calories if your goal is to build muscle. I think there's this massive fear of people wanting to build muscle but not wanting to eat more calories. It's recommended that for maximal muscle gain, so if you're solely focusing on building the glutes, building legs, building muscle, that you are in something called a calorie surplus. I have a free calorie calculator. I'll pop it below for you if you wish to use it. And this essentially will maximize hypertrophy. So you can essentially make the most gains by being in a calorie surplus. And this is eating more food than you're burning on a day-to-day basis. However, what I have found as a coach over the years is that most people want to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, which is also known as body recomposition. The first thing I'm going to say to you, and please understand this is a long-term goal, and I'm talking 3, 4, 5 months when you start to achieve this goal, because if you think about it, you are trying to lose fat, which is calorie deficit, and you're also trying to build muscle, which is when you're in a surplus. So it's getting that balance of doing both. And also I'm going to do some recommendations for you anyway with body recomposition, but also you have to remember that the gym or lifting weights is quite a vital component in terms of body recomposition. We actually spoke about this in a recent podcast, the Not So Fit Couple podcast. We hit number 2 in the fitness charts in the UK the other day, and I was like, what is going on? Crazy. Absolutely love the podcast. But it was with Brand Schoenfeld, who, I think I said his name right, who is pretty much the king of hypertrophy, and he has some really valuable insights that I'm also going to share with you. Okay, so it is possible, and there's 2 main factors involved. Number 1, how much weight do you actually have to lose? If you have more weight to lose, you will find body recomposition a hell of a lot easier. Number 2, what is your training age or your training status? If you're a newbie to the gym, you'll find it a lot easier to achieve body recomposition. However, if you've been training for 4, 5, 6 years, it is going to be a lot harder. And I think this is where people get frustrated that they aren't seeing results quick enough when they're already in decent shape, because you might already have a low body fat and you already have a pretty substantial amount of muscle. It's not going to come that quickly to you. And combined, if you are lean and been training for a long time, it is even harder. So I'm at that stage where I do have a pretty old training age. Well, not pretty old, it's quite old. I'd say like 4.5, 5 years in terms of specifically focusing on the gym. Before that, I was kind of strength and conditioning with swimming. And I've always, genetically, I'm very, very lean. So it was hard to build that muscle and keep my body fat percentage where it is. That's what a lot of people want to do. They want a low body fat and they also want to build muscle. So I'm telling you straight up, it is a long-term goal and it's not something to be rushed. And don't think you're going to get that in 2 months, because you'll start seeing significant progress made with fat loss definitely in the first month and the first couple of weeks, but obviously building muscle as well takes a longer period of time. So obviously recommended for you to be in a slight deficit. So this is eating fewer calories than you're burning. Again, use my free calorie calculator below. It'll work out your calories immaculately for you and what you need to be in a deficit. You only want to be in a slight deficit. I'd literally say like losing 0.5, maybe 0.4 pounds per week. Definitely you don't want to be aiming to lose 1 to 1.5 pounds a week, especially if you're also looking to build muscle. And obviously sufficient protein. So protein is your repair and your recovery of your muscles. It is so important. I wouldn't even say carbs and fats are that important, but hitting your protein target, approximately 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So I'm a bit different than this. I have a hell of a lot of protein. I've got a really high protein diet. I have approximately 165 to 170 grams of protein a day at 143 pounds. Completely different for everyone. That's never affected me personally in terms of a high protein diet. High protein diets, the research has shown that if you previously have a health condition such as something with your kidneys, then you obviously want to be more careful with how much protein you're having. But if you don't have an underlying health condition, there's not as much to worry about. And I, for one, have never experienced anything bad due to having a high protein diet. So how much protein can the body utilize in terms of the amount of protein at one time? So pretty much how much protein your body can absorb is unlimited, and the absorption just means it gets into your bloodstream. In terms of how much it can actually use, research is so varied on this topic, and I feel like a lot of people have differing opinions on this. And there also needs to be factors that are taken into consideration. So are you taking in that protein through a protein shake, so a whey isolate protein, for example? So ultimately, a whey protein is absorbed really quickly into your system, therefore it's oxidized quicker as amino acids. However, if you're doing it in whole foods, so like chicken or steak with like potatoes and green beans, so like an actual meal, the absorption is going to be a lot slower of these amino acids. So it really varies in terms of how you're taking in this protein, but 0.4 to 0.5 grams per kilogram meal is pretty much ideal. So like I said at the start, 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is definitely something to aim for if you are looking to build muscle specifically. Obviously we're talking about the glutes here as well, so I would recommend that. And then people always ask me like how I get so much protein in, and at the moment, and I have been for like since like lockdown, I've been pescatarian and I've still not struggled with protein. At the moment, I only have a shake when I feel like I need it. I don't have them every day. I have a protein bar, again, when I feel like I need it. I get most of my protein from whole foods. I have Fake Greek yogurt 0%, which is really high in protein. I have it twice a day, so it gets me like 45 grams of protein in just through yogurt, which is incredible. I have prawns and I have tuna. I have a lot of peanut butter. And all these things add up for me, and I've always felt like I've benefited from a really high protein diet, specifically with building muscle. And obviously for building muscle, you need a strong, solid program to be following in terms of progressive overload. Now, I know this video is focused on nutrition, and I've literally given you the basics of what you want to be focusing on if your goal is body recomposition, or if you're solely just focusing on building the glutes, which would be a calorie surplus or maintenance, body recomp, slight deficit, high protein. But obviously the main factor in here as well is progressively overloading in the gym. Now, the best way to do this is through the load lifted. So what you're actually lifting in the gym over a period of time. So for example, the Build Your Glutes program is a phasing program, and you will learn to progressively overload. You will build muscle, you will build your glutes simultaneously to losing some fat as well. It is obviously the beginning stage because it's an 8-week program, and people they repeat the program. So you do an 8-week block, you can take a deload week, do an 8-week block again, always improving on those compound lifts and progressively overloading over time. The idea obviously behind progressive overload is to force your muscles to do something that they haven't done before, so they have to recover and adapt. As they adapt and recover, they grow. Now, something really important I want to say before we wrap up this video is really think about your goals. So I have a lot of clients who come to me and say, I want to lose fat and build muscle. So they're in a slight deficit, they're progressively overloading, their training's amazing, they're doing so well, and they're very focused on the scales. Now, the reason why you can't be solely focusing on the scales during body recomposition is because you're trying to do two different things at once, where when you're building muscle, you will put weight on. When you're losing fat, the pounds will drop, but you're doing both at the same time, so they are rather conflicting. I always say focus on progress images. I track all my progress images weekly on the My Coach School on my tracking section. It is amazing. I can see where I'm at. I do log my weight. I feel like it's not as valid for someone who's doing body recomp or building muscle, because it's always going to fluctuate. If you're on a sole weight loss journey and a fat loss journey, weight is good, because obviously you can see, I do this because we have graphs on the My Coach School, but you can see that weight going down, you can see when you plateau, but it's not the be all end all. For people who are solely looking to build muscle, I'd recommend gaining 0.5 pounds per week on the scales. That's a really good measurement to go off, but also, like I said, images and also taking measurements yourself, so your waist, your hips, your thighs, your glutes are also so important. Now, if you focus on fat loss more so than building muscle because you feel like you want to trim down a little bit, you'll obviously be in a calorie deficit. What I would then recommend to build yourself back up to maintenance and into a surplus to build muscle would be reverse dieting. So it's a method that involves slowly and strategically increasing your calories over a period of time in an effort to essentially raise your metabolism that has been dropped whilst you've been in a calorie deficit, because you can't be eating 1,600, 1,700 calories and jump up to maintenance of 2,100 instantly. It just doesn't really work like that. You want to progress and build yourself back up over the weeks and the months until you do find yourself you can maintain a steady weight, and then slowly start increasing that 0.5 pounds per week. Don't be scared of the scales. They're not scary. They're just a measurement that you can use. You don't have to use the scales, like I said. If you have an unhealthy relationship with them, just use progress images. But everything that I've given I'm literally losing my words. Everything I've given you in this video is super valuable that you can take away, and I've tried to explain in the best way possible what I'm trying to explain to you and not overcomplicate it, because I think when people overcomplicate it, you just get put off straight away. So hopefully you'll understand everything I have told you in this video. This is Glute Series episode number 3. Let me know in the comments below what else you want to see from this series. I want to keep giving you valuable content. As always, don't forget the My Coach School new challenge started yesterday, but you can still jump on and join the Build Your Glutes trainer. I'm so excited. Let me know in the comments also if you do, and let me know how you get on. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Make sure you give this video, look at that, I don't even have a proper thumbs up. A big thumbs up and subscribe if you are not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.